there, friends. Welcome to my channel and to another little crafty video. Today I'm going to be working on something that's a little bit different. I am super excited to be showing you this. This little mini kit here, we are going to be making a Valentine's card. And I feel like I need to hurry up because Valentine's is actually in a couple of days. So I need to get going and post this ASAP so that you guys can take advantage in case you want to use this technique and create a Valentine's card for yourself. So first of all, the one thing that why I was saying I'm super excited about this kit is because I designed it. I have been so blessed and I have been able to start creating little mini kits that are being offered at the Reset Girl digital shop. And this is my second kit. I'll show you the first one here in a minute, but I just wanted you to see I don't know, I think it's super cute. I hope that everybody who has already purchased it thinks the same. I know that the design team is having fun creating things with them. There's some journaling cards and a few sort of tags and these little just little embellishments that you can use to decorate any Valentine related or you know, they can be used obviously not just for Valentine's. I also wanted to show you the very first one. This one is still in the shop. This was January's theme and I called it Snowy Days. And kind of the same thing. I wanted to add some journaling cards or journaling accessories, embellishments that you can do. You know I love tags, so I have to do a few tags. And then a ephemera or embellishment little kit, the page itself. Some borders, the snowflakes are probably my favorite, but the wreaths are, I don't know if you remember, I created a wire wreath back in December. And actually I do have a video filmed on how I created it, and I need to get to that and post it in here. But that wreath is what inspired me to create a digital version of that. So that's a little history on that. But I'm super excited about this kit. It just released on February 7th. And like I said, I'm going to be using only this page here to create a Valentine's card. I have already pre-cut everything from this page, just that it will be a lot easier. Also, I wanted to do a little quick history on background on why I am making a card and why I don't make too many cards anymore. I used to have a Etsy shop back when, a long time ago. When the boys were little, I loved creating theme birthday parties for them, and so I would go all out on the decorations, the party favors, and of course the invitation being the first thing that you have to send out for the party. I had so much fun making them. I had my first Cricut. I was using it to create the cards, and that's how that shop got started. But it got so busy and so tedious, and to make the invitation, when you make 40 or 50 or 60, I've even made 1,000 of the exact same invitation. It just got so tiring. I would have to involve my mother and my sister to help me because there was just too many to make. And the Cricut back then had it was kind of different. You had to cut everything at a time, each item in different colors several times, and it was just way too time consuming. So this was a safari theme, animal park you know, related theme. And you can see, I'll show you one that is actually better, is this one here. Everything had to be hand stamped and hand cut, and it was just, like I said, a lot of time, a lot of paper, a lot of wasted paper, I feel. But this one was one that I made for my son. We were having a science theme party, and so I use again the Cricut a lot to make these invitations. And once I created something, I would put it on my Etsy shop, and then people would either choose that one or come up with their own theme, and then I would have to create and design an invitation for them. This is another one. This one is on my Pinterest page, and it's gotten a lot, hundreds and hundreds of pins because it's just super cute. This is either a pool party or a beach theme party. This was another prototype. A lot of these are prototypes. This is another one, super fun, very interactive. You pull it out like this, and the information obviously is on both sides. I did this one several times, that it was, like I said, too time consuming. Another prototype. This was for a movie theme party. This was super cute, one of my favorites. I did not keep, which I thought I did, samples of everything that I made. There's tons and tons more, but apparently I didn't keep all of them. This was for a sleepover, and what would happen is the little girl here, they could select what they wanted, what color hair, little accessories, and when you pull out the invite like this, the information would be written here. I have so many other ones that I wish I could have shown you. I had this super cute little egg, dinosaur egg, that would crack, and then it would split open, and there would be a dinosaur inside, and the information, it was just so cute. This was when we moved. I made a little note, not an invitation, but a note saying, hey, we moved, here's our new address. This was for a circus theme birthday party. This one was for another animal type, theme birthday party, and it kind of looks like a box that, one of those shipment containers, and live animal inside. I know that sounds kind of cruel. I don't know why I didn't think about that back then, but anyways, I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit of a background on that, so you can kind of understand why I don't make as many cards anymore. But this time I kind of got the bug to make another one of these fun and cute interactive pages. Not pages, card. And I just kind of, that was not my intention when I created the kit, but it's kind of a versatile type of kit, because you can use it to make a card. So okay, enough talking, let's get started. So I have created myself a template, because it's always good to have a template. I started by testing out my dimensions to make sure it was going to be the right size for my card, and everything was based on this little banner, which is what I'm going to use inside the card. So I had to make sure that this little banner would fit inside the card, and that's how I ended up with a inside window that is going to measure 5.5 by 5.5 inches squares, which is what you see here. I will show you just kind of a little preview. I don't want to confuse anyone by showing it to you like this ahead of time, but you can kind of see what I am after. This is what I want my 3D card to look like, with a little window cut out in the middle. It looks complicated. It really is not. So like I said, I made myself a template, wrote down all the dimensions. You can rewind, pause, whatever you want, so that this will make sense. So the whole window is going to measure 5.5 by 5.5. Now the card itself, I have chosen this envelope here. So that is one tip that I have for you. When you are going to make a card, make sure you start with the envelope so you know what dimensions the card needs to be. This is a 6.5 by 6.5 square envelope. So my card size is going to be 6 inches square. So this will be my final card, and I've already cut the pink paper. I started with a 12 by 12, and then I just cut it at 6 inches wide and then folded it in half, because I know that that's going to fit in my envelope just perfect. I actually have my We Are Memory Keepers envelope maker. I don't know, I might end up making one because it'll be prettier, I think, if I use different paper. But anyway, so the card itself will be this size. And just to kind of give you an idea, what I'm going after is the card is going to be mounted in here. Obviously, that's the wrong color, but it's going to be mounted, and it's going to close and then open up. And once it opens, it pops up like that. If you want, like I said, go ahead and take pause it, do a little sketch, and you can write down the measurements. Now, this card, like I said, is gonna be a 6 by 6. So this is meant for a 6 by 6 card. You can kind of, once you know how to do it, you can rearrange the sizes according to whatever card you need to make. There are going to be, whoopsie, a couple of valley folds and mountain folds. Wherever you see the dotted lines, that's where we are going to be folding. And there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 places where we are going to fold. And 2 of them are on the top and 2 of them at the bottom. Now, the distance here around is what you see around the frame. So you will have a 1/2 inch frame all the way around. The folds here are 3/4 of an inch. So this one here is 3/4 of an inch. And once you write down or draw your square, you're gonna come down 3/4 of an inch. And then from the bottom, you're gonna go up 3/4 of an inch. And that's where the folds are going to be. So I had a little bit of a trial and error. I was trying to keep it very simple for you. And so I have already cut the inside paper. This is the one that's actually gonna go in here. I've already cut it. I should have left it as a 6 inches tall, but I had already used this paper, and so I had to do a little bit of a trimming, but that's okay. And you'll see once we glue it inside, it's not gonna make a difference. So I have already transferred this, the measurements from here into here. And although there is pencil marks, we're going to be cutting. You can always erase once you are ready to start putting the card together. One tip that I have for you, if you decide to use, again, it's a good idea to use a 12 by 12 so that you just cut 6 inches this way, leave it 12 inches tall, find a center point, which in our case is this right here. That is where the card, this fold is going to land right here in the middle when you fold it. So find a center, which I did. This was the center. I'm a little off, but find a center, and then you can start drawing the rest of your measurements based on the center, which is where the card is going to be folded. So I'm going to get ready to cut now. I just got this really neat little We Are Memory Keepers magnetic little self-healing pad. It is magnetic, as you can see. The ruler stays. I love that. I can travel with this, and that's gonna be amazing. So we are going, again, keep your eyes on your sketch so that you know where you are cutting. So I'm going to start my cuts. This is where this little magnetic board comes in handy because it just kind of keeps everything in place. And the little ruler, it just happens to be 6 inches, so it is perfect. So if I line it up on the top, I know that I'm going from here all the way to 5.5. And let's see, I'm gonna go this way just because. So I can see. I feel like if I go the other direction, my hands cover it. Okay, so this are those two little edges that are going to be glued to the card itself. Now the top and these two top lines are gonna get folded. This bottom line, these two lines, the one there and there, are also going to be folded. So far, the only two cuts you need to make are the edges. Now, we are going to cut the inside frame of, which is where, what's going to create the window. So I'm gonna call that, well, I don't wanna write it, but this is the window here. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I know that the window measures 4.5 by 4. So here's my 4.5. I'm sorry, my 4. The half is this direction. Oh my goodness. So as you can see, I've only done 4 cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 6 cuts altogether. The rest is just folding. Now this is going to be 4.5. And my little handy ruler here shows me where 4.5 is. And then I'm gonna go 4.5 on that side, and that should cut my window out. And if it's not, I can always use my scissors to finish up. You can print this out too. Once you do your sketch, you can just print it out, and then your lines will be there. Okay, now let's get our folding done. Now, if we use our little template, we are scoring the top 2 rows and then the bottom one, and only on the sides, because our window is here, so there's really nothing to fold. Let me bring back my little thingy here, my little board, and I can use that as well. And I'm going to use this one here, and I'm just gonna, you can use your score pal if you have one, but you can see that, you know, something like this will work. And let me find, I have another tool that I can show you. I have this other little tool. You can see these, you can find them all over. Another line. And then this one here is kind of easy because it's only these 2 little edges, but then we need to do this one here at the bottom. I feel like this one works a little bit better. Okay, so here is the folding part. So I'm gonna start with the very top, and that's gonna be a valley. So you just kind of fold it like that. The next one is gonna be a peak. Like that, and that's kind of what makes the window. And then the one at the very bottom, it's going to be a valley. I have to think about that. And then the 2 little sides right here, which is actually, like I told you, where this where that's going to get glued, those are also going to be valleys. And you just use your little marks. So if we are to glue this, this is how it's going to look. Now, before we glue everything inside, fold this part so that you can see that when you close the card, everything folds flat. Once you know it folds flat, then you can go ahead and glue this on the inside of the card. We are only going to be putting glue on the edges, the skinny sides, and this big bottom area in the top here. The frame itself needs to remain with no glue because that's the part that's going to pop. You can use whatever adhesive you want. Some parts, you know, maybe this skinny area here, I will use my favorite glue pen, and then I'll just use a stronger or a more easily, you know, type of adhesive. So I gotta make sure I'm not gonna put it, and then you can always go back and add as you glue your card to make sure that everything has glue. And also gonna put it on the top here. And so we're gonna be very careful. I'm going to start so I have lined up the center of the card with these two folds here, and I'm going to close my card. Okay, and then this one here, gotta make sure everything lines up. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue here now. Make sure your frame doesn't have any glue. And then we're gonna fold the other end. Make sure everything is lined up. So there's my window. Make sure everything closes up. If a little bit sticks out on the side, which I can see that here, I can always go back and trim that out. But there is my window. If you can see that there, that's what makes the card pop up. You can erase your lines, just be careful. And now it's the fun part where we get to decorate with our embellishments. Oh, I was dying to do this part to show you how I've kind of thought about how I want to use my embellishments here. And the kit came with two little birds, which I thought about having them kind of on the rope, maybe kissing like that. And I love it. So I'm going to move this up a little bit now that I know everything is going to fit. You are only gluing everything on the edges of the frame. So very carefully, I'm going to add a little bit of glue here for that side. I guess I can't glue with my left hand. There's the other one. And when I fussy cut the little birds, I didn't go all the way around the legs. I left those little triangles there because I knew that's where I was going to be putting a little bit of glue. Maybe I'll just do this one. And they just land perfectly on either side of these two little banners. And then I wanted to add, let's see, that flower bouquet, maybe that might be too much. Maybe I can combine all of these. What else do I have here? Sometimes it's good to refer to the kit so you see where everything is. I kind of liked this one. I wonder if I cut that. I think I'm gonna cut this. And then just put a little bit of glue here. Maybe write a little message there. I hope that you can see how it's coming out. How when you open it, there's a little debris there. When you open it, it's gonna create this little window like that. And I can think of what else I can add to it, but you can write your message here. Maybe I will add a floral there, or yes, one here, and I might pop up the other one with a little foam dot. I'm just trying to see how much of this kit I can use. Maybe I can use those on the front of the card. I think that might be good enough for now. Let's do a little test to make sure everything is closing correctly. And when the card gets open, our little window pops up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just that. I'm gonna write my message here and decorate the front, and I will come back and show it to you when it's all done. So I am done with the card. I am really happy how it turned out. This is how the cover looks. Pretty much everything except this, the black paper. Well, the paper, this polka dot paper came from, I think, Hobby Lobby. The other paper, the pink one, it's from Felicity Janes, and then the black is just the cardstock. These little stickers were from Freckle Fawn. I love those. They're small enough, and they just come out always looking so nice. The little tag is part of the kit. So this little heart is also part of the kit. This one here that says me plus you, it's also from the kit, and I just used a little foam dot to pop it out. I did a couple of little stitches over here in the shape of X's. And these little puffy hearts are also by Felicity Janes. So I wanted you to see how cute the inside turned out. I added this little banner or this little scallop edge over here that was part of the winter kit. You can just use scissors, which is what I did here. I used scissors to create that little scallop. It's kind of hard to cut that one out, but it's totally doable. And then I added another one here. I did end up trimming the card. If you remember, it had a tiny little piece left on top of that pink. So I cut that part out and then made the bottom match. And so now, let's see. Now the card ended up being 5 3/4. So that's all I ended up cutting, because the card started as a 6 by 6. Now it's 5 3/4 by 6 inches. So there is the front, there is the inside, and here is the envelope. I even had enough supplies as part of the kit. I cut out these letters and then put them on the front of the envelope, and 2 more little puffy stickers. And I think these little hearts came from Walmart. Out of all places, I found these, and every time I go, I look because I use them all the time. So, and as you can see, we will be able to fit the card in here, no problem. And there it is. I hope you didn't find this to be too hard or too intimidating. I think, you know, whenever we work on something new for the first time, it always seems, again, kind of intimidating and maybe even like something that we don't want to try out. But I encourage you to try. It is not very hard. I will put a photo. Actually, I'm trying to get this video out soon and I lost my light already. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to freeze the photo or freeze the frame of the template so you can go ahead and write down the measurements so that hopefully you will be able to recreate this card for Valentine's since it's coming up. But you can use this technique for a Mother's Day card or, you know, even a birthday card as well. So thank you again for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope I was clear on the instructions. And as always, make time for yourselves, especially since Valentine's is coming. Don't always just focus on showing how much you care for others, but some self-care as well. So thank you so much. Until next time, take care. Bye.